Thank you. So, hello everyone. I've been voluntold to do this presentation with you all today. So here I am. I'm Dr. Vanessa Irvin. I'm Associate Director of the project. So we are out of ECU. We are from the Master of Library Science program, which is housed in the College of Education at ECU. And so as faculty there, we, Dr. Reyes was the spearhead in getting us a grant from the Mellon Foundation for 3 years to create relationships in Eastern North Carolina in local-based community archive organizations and collections. The grant is for 3 years. It's from 2024 to 2027. It's for $1.1 million. We're very proud that we were able to procure that amount. With that amount, we've been able to employ students in our program, as well as in the public history department, to be hired and have paid internships at the local partner sites. So we just want to go over, so the acronym up top, FOCUS, sorry about that, means Faculty Organizing for Community Archive Support. It's a consortium of 9 universities throughout the US and Canada that's all doing this same work, this same model of grants through the Mellon Foundation and hiring students to do paid internships. We are the only member of the consortium from the US South. So that's pretty cool. So Dr. Reyes is the Executive Director of FOCUS. The lab we created is called the ECU Community Archives Lab, so that's what ECAL means. And so we run the entire project out of the lab. Dr. Reyes is Executive Director, and Dr. Youngman and I are Associate Directors. Next. So today we're going to talk about what we offer at the Library Science program in the area of archives and cultural heritage informatics, which is the honoring and centering of local community archives and collections. I mentioned about the FOCUS grant, placing the interns, and then we'll also talk about ways in which the lab supports local services for archives. So what it is that the Library Science program, we have an archives concentration. We have 4 areas of concentration in the program. People come in and they register with us, and they can study either academic librarianship, public librarianship, school librarianship, and archives and cultural heritage informatics as a concentration. And so the students are in our archives and cultural heritage concentration, again, work in these areas of community archives, preserving personal records, and heritage-based research. And we have a nice relationship with the Department of Public History, so their students come through us as well to do this work as well. And that's how you got Miss Carolyn Johnson. Mm-hmm. Next. All right, so these are the things that they learn. These are the different things that the students learn in the archival studies part of our program. So they learn selection, acquisition, arrangement, description, preservation, advocacy, management, and administration of records. Thank you so much. And then stewardship of digital collections as well. And this is just a breakdown of our classes that we offer. And the point is that we're very interested in our students really honoring and understanding local culture and rural culture as well. And so we teach those aspects within the various courses that we offer. And so this is just, this is actually a little old, but not bad. It says here that we have a program of 182 students. This is like 2 years ago. We're now at 196. So we're doing just fine. And we're just showing here a map of how our students are dispersed throughout the state, because we're an online program. And so all of our students, we deliver the coursework online. And so they're from all over the state, all over the regions of the state, but highly concentrated in our region here in Eastern North Carolina. So this is the consortium that we were telling you about. And so the point of the consortium is to build connections. So with us working with this consortium, so we've got colleagues in Canada who now know about ECU and what we're doing at ECU in the name of archives and cultural heritage preservation, and we're sharing information and people and networking. So the student, like for example, in 2025, our students that are associated with our project and the work, they traveled to Los Angeles, I think it was, to meet with the other students at the Society of American Archivists conference. And so our students got to meet students from Texas and Arizona and Canada and California, and so that's really pretty cool. And so they all share information. And so another point for the Focus Project is to create a lab that supports our local communities here, our local networks here, and as well. So right now, these are the sites, our partner sites that we're working with through the ECAL lab. So in Caswell County, we are working with the Caswell Council of the Arts, as well as the Caswell County Historical Association here in Martin County. We're working with you all, the Martin County Historical Society. We're working with the Lumbee Tribe in Pembroke as well. The North Carolina Broadcast History Museum, they're based out of Raleigh. And that's a virtual internship. So we have students who are doing some virtual work with them. The Roanoke River Lighthouse and Maritime Museum up the road in Plymouth, as well as Pasquotank Library and Belhaven Public Library. And we have students at each of these locations right now. So in placing students at the various locations, is again helping to build a network of community-based archival relationships in North Carolina, mapping sites to demonstrate connections between community members, collections, stakeholders, and identity, and just showing how the records that we keep and the records that we take care of and hold dear is intimately related to how we're relating to one another today. And so the internships really give the students an idea, an indication of that. This photograph is from Caswell County at the Thomas Day Museum there, the famous cabinet maker, and we're doing a community mapping exercise there where the community members are literally mapping out all of the relationships that they have with everybody in the town and how they're all interconnected, in terms of honoring local heritage. So it's incredible because it's like there was this one woman who had it all in her head. As you probably all are familiar, there's somebody in the town that has it all in their head. But then when you sit down together, you start to realize when you map it out, it's really incredible. So when we place our interns, our goal is to align their roles with learning objectives that they experience in their classwork and their coursework. So while they're at your site, and they're working and getting paid and they're learning practical professional skills there, they're also at the same time in archive classes in our program learning those professional skills as well. Engaging with the libraries and museums and historical societies, establishing clear expectation and responsibility. So we also, are exercising professional development with the students. We meet with them on a bi-weekly basis so that we're, teaching them, helping them, navigate all kinds of things that may happen at a site, so that they learn and understand their place in it. And we're encouraging mentoring and skill development by pairing interns with experienced archivists like Mr. Mark Wayne Peel. And so, they're able to get professional guidance that way as well, and provide access to digital and traditional archival methods. And so that's happening here as well at the Asa Biggs House, where they're going to be, Caroline, for example, and another student will be involved in that physical collection, which is traditional archival practices, as well as digitizing them, which is that, 21st century, aspect as well. Here's our lab, early days of it. We launched the lab in September 10th of 2025. And so it is now 2 rooms at Ragsdale Hall on ECU's campus. And so we have 1 room that's for engagement and collaboration. Then we have the lab where we offer up equipment and the services and housing artifacts as well. This is the mission of the ECAL lab. And it's also on our ECAL website. This is the mission of the lab, which is also on our ECAL website.
It should have been saved as vision, I'm sorry.
And so these are Tyler, you want to do this part?
Yeah, absolutely. So our lab has been, it's kind of like clay making a little bit. Our lab is kind of emerging, and at the end we're going to have this really amazing vase, right? But right now we're still kind of figuring out and placing interns and building out our services. And with the extension of this new room, we're hoping to have not just a space where communities can come in with us and collaborate on campus, but also a place where people who have really important collections that they want to get digitized, or they have materials that they want preserved but would like more information, or just want to be able to talk to someone about it, we hope to be able to use the lab to offer that space, not just for dialogue, but for consultation and guidance for how to best care for personal collections, items that are of historic or heritage value, right? And how we go about preserving those for the future generations, right? And so our lab at this current moment is looking into and currently providing consultations and visits to different sites, right? Where we can talk to you about different kinds of, if you have a personal collection, or you're working with an institutional collection, or you're working with just a lot of documents that you're trying to figure out, what's the story here, what's the history here, how do I go about preserving it and keeping it, safe and making sure we can pass it on, right? We talk about different needs and workflows and consult on different kinds of practices for documenting and preserving those collections. And in that same line, we also provide assistance with arrangement, how you organize that collection, how you describe different artifacts within it, how we might go about strategizing a digitization of that if you want it to be in an online space or to have it be in digital form, right? And then how to make it accessible to the local community, how to make it accessible to the people and groups that are important to you. We're also working really hard to develop community-specific preservation strategies. So when someone comes in with a collection that we're really trying to figure out what we can do with it and what kinds of stories we want to tell, right? That is absolutely a service we provide, is to be able to talk it out and have dialogue. And then last is really our job is we want this lab to be a space to help people tell the stories that they want to tell, right? And preserve the history that's important to them, not in a way where we are coming in and doing it, but whereas y'all as community, right, are building and preserving that history, and we are here to help. Right, we want to be able to provide you with the tools, the services, the technology, the consultations necessary to support that work. Because at the end of the day, like everyone who is here is like an expert in their own community, right? And so it's that collaboration for us is really important, and we want to make sure our services cater to that. So that's generally what our lab provides currently.
Thank you.
And I also want to share that our program, aside from community archives interns, we also are always recruiting sites that are willing to take in our interns for our internship course. The library science program has an internship that supports archival interns, whether it be at an academic institution, a public library. We are always looking for sites that are willing to take on our interns to come in and do work with you. So, thank you very much. Please contact us if you're interested.
You finished?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Any questions?
Yeah,